My parents want me to move out of my house so my unemployed brother can live there rent-free while I keep paying the mortgage. Hi everyone! Today's story will blow your mind, but really quick, if you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button. Channel's been a bit quiet lately, and your support keeps it all going. Let's jump in. ITA for refusing to let my younger brother move in indefinitely while he finds himself? I, 28M, need some perspective on a situation that's tearing my family apart. I bought my first house 6 months ago after years of saving and working my ass off. It's nothing fancy, a modest 3-bedroom in a decent neighborhood, but it's mine, and I'm proud of what I've accomplished. My younger brother Tyler, 21M, has always been the family's golden child. While I was working 2 jobs through college, he was exploring his options. When I graduated with student loans, he dropped out after 2 semesters because traditional education wasn't his path. Our parents, Patricia and Michael, have always made excuses for him. Last week, my parents invited me to dinner. I should have known something was up when Mom made my favorite pot roast. After dessert, they dropped the bomb. Tyler needs to move in with me. Not temporarily, indefinitely. Their reasoning: he's still figuring out his path, and stable older siblings should provide guidance through housing. I sat there, fork still in hand, trying to process this. Apparently, they've been discussing this for weeks. Tyler's been living with them since dropping out, but they think he needs independence, just not the kind where he actually pays for anything. They expect me to provide free housing, utilities, and brotherly guidance while he discovers himself. James, you have 3 bedrooms, Mom said, as if that settled everything. Tyler needs space to grow, and you're in the perfect position to help him. I asked about rent. Dad actually laughed. Family doesn't charge family rent, son. Besides, Tyler's savings are tied up in his entrepreneurial ventures. Translation: he spent his college fund on cryptocurrency and lost most of it. Tyler sat there the whole time, scrolling through his phone, occasionally nodding when our parents made a point. When I asked him directly what his plans were, he shrugged. Just need some time to figure things out, bro. You know how it is. No, I don't know how it is. At 21, I was working full-time while taking night classes. At 21, I was budgeting every penny to make rent on a crappy studio apartment. At 21, I wasn't expecting anyone to house me for free while I found myself. I told them I needed to think about it. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. Mom's face went from hopeful to disappointed in seconds. I thought we raised you to value family, she said. Dad added, we've done so much for you over the years. Is it too much to ask that you help your brother? Here's what gets me: yes, they helped with college textbooks a few times. Yes, they let me stay with them for 2 months after graduation while I job hunted. But I've paid them back, literally and figuratively. I've helped with their house repairs, lent them money when Dad's hours got cut, and never asked for anything in return. Tyler, on the other hand, has been living expense-free for 3 years. They funded his gap year, which turned into gap years, his failed dropshipping business, his cryptocurrency adventures, and his current status as a content creator. He has 47 YouTube subscribers. The ride home was silent. My girlfriend Sarah was furious on my behalf. They're enabling him, she said. And now they want you to do the same. Since that dinner, I've received A4 texts from Mom about family values, A2 calls from Dad about doing the right thing, A1 email from Tyler with a list of his housing requirements, including exclusive use of the garage for his studio, A multiple Facebook posts from Mom about the importance of sibling bonds, passive-aggressive much. My extended family is divided. Aunt Jennifer thinks I'm being selfish. Uncle Robert says I should stand my ground. My cousin Michelle, who went through something similar with her sister, warned me that indefinitely means forever. I'm not heartless. If Tyler had a plan, any plan, I'd consider it. If he was working and needed a few months to save for a deposit, sure. If he was going back to school and needed support, absolutely. But moving in indefinitely while he figures out his path? While I pay the mortgage, utilities, groceries, and maintenance. How is that fair? The worst part is the guilt. My parents keep saying things like, we never thought you'd be the type to turn your back on family, and success means nothing if you don't share it. They're acting like I'm living in a mansion instead of a 1,400 square foot house with a mortgage that takes up 30% of my income. I've worked hard for everything I have. I've made sacrifices. I've delayed gratification. Now I'm finally in a position where I can start building my future, maybe even start a family with Sarah in a few years, and I'm expected to put that on hold so Tyler can play video games in my spare bedroom while waiting for inspiration to strike? Am I the asshole for wanting to say no? For thinking that at 21, Tyler should be taking some responsibility for his life instead of expecting others to provide for him? For believing that family helps family should go both ways? I haven't given them a final answer yet, but I'm leaning toward no. I know it's going to cause a shitstorm. I know my parents will be disappointed. I know family gatherings will be awkward. But I can't shake the feeling that saying yes would be the worst thing I could do, for me and for Tyler. What would you do? Update 1. My brother moved himself in while I was at work. I can't believe I'm writing this update just 3 weeks after my original post. Thank you to everyone who responded. Your comments gave me the courage to stand firm. I wish I could say things got better. They got so much worse. After reading your responses, I decided to have a calm, mature conversation with my parents and Tyler. I invited them over for coffee on a Saturday morning. I had talking points prepared. I was going to explain my position, offer alternative ways to help Tyler, like helping him with a resume or job hunting, and set clear boundaries. Tyler didn't show up. He had a late night, Mom explained. Of course he did. I went ahead with the conversation anyway. I explained that while I loved Tyler, enabling him wasn't helping him. I offered to help in other ways. I'd review his resume, introduce him to my network, even help him apartment hunt. But I couldn't offer indefinite free housing. Dad's face turned red. We're not asking you to enable him. We're asking you to be a brother. Being a brother doesn't mean providing free housing to an adult who refuses to work, I responded. Mom started crying. Actually crying. I never thought I'd raise such a selfish son, she said. We've given you everything, and you can't even help your brother in his time of need. What need? I asked. He's healthy. He's capable. He just doesn't want to work. The conversation devolved from there. They left after Mom declared she needed to process this betrayal. I thought that was the end of it. I should have known better. Fast forward to this Monday. I came home from work to find Tyler's car in my driveway. Strange, but I figured maybe he wanted to talk. I walked in to find him on my couch, PlayStation hooked up to my TV, empty pizza boxes on my coffee table. Hey bro, he said, not looking away from his game. Mom gave me the spare key. I'm setting up in the back bedroom. I stood there, keys still in hand, trying to process what was happening. Tyler, we discussed this. I said no. Yeah, but Mom and Dad said you didn't really mean it. They said you just needed time to adjust to the idea. That's when I noticed the suitcases in the hallway. Multiple suitcases. And boxes. Tyler hadn't just moved in, he'd moved in. I called my parents immediately. Mom answered on the first ring, almost like she was expecting it. Before you say anything, she started, just give it a chance. Tyler's already there, and it would be traumatic to make him leave now. Sometimes family has to make decisions for the good of everyone. You gave him my spare key? I was beyond angry. We still had it from when you gave it to us for emergencies. This is an emergency, James. Your brother needs stability. I hung up. I turned to Tyler, who was still gaming. You need to leave. Now. He finally paused his game. Come on, don't be like that. I'm already here. I'll be chill, I promise. You'll barely know I'm here. Tyler, get out of my house. Bro, I literally have nowhere else to go. Mom and Dad are renovating my room into a home gym. That stopped me cold. They're what? Yeah, they said since I was moving in with you, they could finally have that gym they've always wanted. The contractor starts tomorrow. They'd planned this. They'd literally made it impossible for Tyler to return home, knowing I'd be less likely to throw him out if he had nowhere to go. The manipulation was breathtaking. I gave Tyler 2 options, leave immediately, or I'd call the police. He chose option 3, calling our parents and putting them on speaker. The emotional manipulation that followed was Olympic level. Mom sobbed about how she couldn't sleep knowing Tyler was homeless. Dad accused me of being materialistic and forgetting where I came from. Tyler threw in some comments about my fancy job, making me think I was better than everyone. But here's where it gets worse. Tuesday morning, I woke up to voices in my kitchen. Multiple voices. I found Tyler making breakfast for 2 people I'd never seen before. Oh hey, Tyler said casually. This is Brandon and Kevin. They're crashing here for a bit too. They're helping with my content creation. We're starting a podcast. I lost it. Completely lost it. I told everyone to get out. Tyler's friends grabbed their stuff and left immediately, but Tyler dug in. You can't just throw me out. I've established residency. I know my rights. You've been here 1 day. Doesn't matter. Mom said you'd try this, so I looked it up. You have to evict me properly now. I called in sick to work and spent the day researching tenant laws in my state. Tyler was wrong about establishing residency in 1 day, but if I let this go on, he could be right. I needed to act fast. I changed the locks that afternoon while Tyler was out. When he returned and couldn't get in, the texts started. Tyler, what the fuck bro, Tyler? This is illegal, Tyler. I'm calling Mom. Mom. James, what have you done? Tyler's outside in the cold. It was 68 degrees. Dad, this is not how we raised you. Open that door right now. I didn't respond to any of them. I did, however, respond to the police when they showed up. Apparently, Tyler had called them claiming he was illegally evicted. I showed them my deed, explained Tyler had been there less than 48 hours without permission and had no lease or agreement. They told Tyler to leave. The aftermath has been nuclear. My parents have told the entire extended family their version, that I threw out my homeless brother who just needed a place to stay while starting his business. They conveniently leave out the part about his friends, the planned room renovation, and the fact that Tyler has no actual business. Aunt Jennifer posted on Facebook about family values being dead. Uncle Robert texted me privately, "Good for you. Stay strong." Cousin Michelle called to share her own horror stories and support me. Tyler is currently couch surfing with friends, posting dramatic Instagram stories about betrayal and fake family. My parents blame me for ruining his momentum with his podcast plans. The best part? Mom called yesterday to inform me that since I won't help Tyler, they'll need the $500 I owe them from 2019, when they helped with my car repair, paid back immediately. I paid it that same day, with a screenshot of the payment and a text, "All debt settled. Please lose my number." Sarah has been my rock through this. She's changed our locks again, in case they made copies, installed security cameras, and screened my calls when I just can't deal with another guilt trip. I've blocked Tyler on everything. I've muted my parents. I'm taking a break from social media to avoid the family drama. I'm looking into therapy because the guilt, even though I know I did the right thing, is eating me alive. To everyone who warned me it would escalate, you were right. To everyone who said they'd try to manipulate me, you were prophets. To everyone who told me to stand my ground, thank you. Your words echo in my head when the doubt creeps in. I'll update again if anything significant happens. For now, I'm focusing on work, my relationship, and remembering that family shouldn't mean doormat. Update 2. 2 months later. My parents want me to move out of my house. I genuinely thought I'd never have to update this story again. I'd gone low contact with my parents, Tyler was reportedly thriving, according to family Facebook posts, and I was finally enjoying peace in my own home. Sarah and I even hosted a successful game night last weekend without drama. I should have known the other shoe was about to drop. It started with a text from Mom 3 days ago, "We need to have a family discussion. This has gone on long enough." I didn't respond, but she followed up, "Tyler is struggling, and as a family, we need to find a solution. Please come to dinner Thursday. Just to talk." Against Sarah's advice and my better judgment, I agreed. I thought maybe they'd finally realized enabling Tyler wasn't helping anyone. I thought wrong. I arrived to find Tyler already there, looking surprisingly put together. New clothes, fresh haircut, even a collared shirt. Mom had made lasagna, my childhood favorite. Dad was using his reasonable voice. Red flags everywhere. "James," Dad started after we'd eaten, "we've been thinking about the situation with Tyler, and we've come up with a solution that works for everyone." I braced myself. "Tyler's shown real growth these past 2 months," Mom chimed in. "He's been consistent with his content creation, he's networked with other entrepreneurs, and he's really close to monetizing his platform." I checked later. His YouTube channel now has 73 subscribers. His last video, posted 3 weeks ago, has 12 views. "That's great," I said carefully. "So he's ready to get his own place?" They exchanged looks. Tyler stayed silent, focusing intently on his phone. "Actually," Dad said, "we think the opposite. Tyler needs stability to take his business to the next level. The couch surfing is hurting his productivity." "Okay," I said, waiting for the punchline. Mom leaned forward. "We think you should move back here temporarily. Just for 6 months or so. Let Tyler have your house. He needs the space for his studio and the professional setting for his brand." I laughed. Actually laughed out loud because surely this was a joke. It wasn't. "Hear us out," Dad continued. "You'd keep paying the mortgage, It's an investment in your brother's future and, by extension, the family's future. When Tyler's business takes off, he can buy you out at market value. You'll probably even make a profit. Plus, Mom added, your old room is available now since the gym equipment didn't work out. You seemed so happy here growing up. It would be like old times. I looked at Tyler. He finally met my eyes and shrugged. It makes sense, bro. You can work from anywhere, but I need a proper setup for filming. Your house has that great natural light. The audacity was breathtaking. They wanted me to 1. Move out of the house I bought. 2. Continue paying the mortgage. 3. Move back into my childhood bedroom. 4. Give Tyler full access to my home. 5. Hope that somehow his business would explode and he'd eventually buy me out. Do you hear yourselves? I asked. You want me to pay for Tyler to live in my house while I move back in with you? It's temporary, Mom insisted. And think of it as an investment. Tyler's already had interest from sponsors. What sponsors? I demanded. Tyler mumbled something about pending deals and NDAs. Dad jumped in. The point is, family helps family. You have the means to help, and Tyler has the potential. Why are you being so stubborn about this? Because it's insane. I stood up. You're literally asking me to subsidize Tyler's lifestyle while giving up my own home. 6 months, Mom pleaded. Just 6 months. If his business isn't profitable by then, we'll revisit. No, I said firmly. This is beyond unreasonable. Tyler is an adult. If he needs a studio, he can get a job and rent one. Tyler finally spoke up, his voice dripping with accusation. Must be nice to have everything handed to you. Some of us have to struggle. Handed to me? I couldn't believe it. I worked 2 jobs through college. I lived on ramen for years to save for a down payment. What exactly was handed to me? You had advantages, he said cryptically. Traditional path privilege. I don't even know what that means, and I didn't ask. Mom started crying again. We're just trying to help both our sons succeed. Why can't you see that? Helping Tyler succeed doesn't require me to fail, I shot back. Dad's reasonable voice disappeared. No one's asking you to fail. We're asking you to step up as the older brother. Leaders make sacrifices. Then let Tyler lead. Let him sacrifice something for once. The dinner ended with Mom sobbing about her broken family, Dad calling me selfish, and Tyler muttering about fake support as he stormed out. I left feeling like I'd entered an alternate universe where up was down and personal responsibility was a foreign concept. The next morning, I woke up to a family group text I'd forgotten to leave. Aunt Jennifer heard about James refusing to help Tyler again. Some people forget where they came from. Cousin Anthony, wait, what happened now? Mom, we asked James to make a small sacrifice to help Tyler's business grow, and he refused. We're heartbroken. Cousin Michelle, what kind of sacrifice? Mom, just to let Tyler use his house temporarily while he builds his brand. James would stay with us. But apparently, that's too much to ask. The replies started pouring in. Some supported the idea, saying it was creative problem-solving and what family does. Others, thankfully, pointed out the insanity of asking someone to move out of their own home while still paying for it. Uncle Robert texted me privately, "Is this real? They want you to move out of your house." I sent him screenshots of the texts. His response, "Block them all. This is beyond enabling, this is delusional." Sarah was furious when I told her. They've completely lost touch with reality. What's next? Are they going to ask you to give Tyler your car while you take the bus? Don't give them ideas. Yesterday, I received an email from Dad with the subject line, "Formal Proposal." He'd actually written up a contract for the arrangement. I would temporarily relocate for 6 to 12 months. Continue all mortgage, utility, and maintenance payments. Tyler would have full use of the property for business purposes. Tyler would maintain the property to the best of his ability. After Tyler's business became profitable, he would have the option to purchase at market value. If Tyler chose not to purchase, I could return pending mutual agreement on timing. He actually CC'd Tyler and Mom, like this was a legitimate business proposal. I replied all with just, "No. Stop asking. The answer will always be no." Mom called within minutes. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail saying I was choosing property over people and that she hoped my fancy house kept me warm at night since I was ice cold to family. Tyler posted on Instagram, when your own blood won't invest in your dreams, pensive face, hashtag fake family, hashtag self-made, hashtag rising above. Plot twist. Today, my cousin Kevin, different from Tyler's friend, reached out. Apparently, Tyler's been telling people I offered to let him use my house but then backed out, leaving him stranded. He's literally rewriting history to make himself the victim. I'm done. Completely done. I've blocked my parents' numbers, left all family group chats, and unfriended relatives who've chosen sides. The only family I'm in contact with are Uncle Robert, Cousin Michelle, and a few others who've seen through the manipulation. Sarah suggested we take a vacation, get away from all this drama. I think she's right. I've worked hard for what I have, and I'll be damned if I let anyone, family or not, guilt me into giving it up. The saddest part? If Tyler had shown any initiative, gotten a part-time job, created a business plan, shown genuine effort, I would have helped him. But this expectation that I should sacrifice everything I've worked for while he sacrifices nothing? Never. To those who said it would get worse before it got better, you weren't kidding. But I'm standing firm. My house, my rules, my life. And to anyone dealing with similar family dynamics, you're not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm, even if those people share your DNA. I'm hoping this is my final update. I'm ready to move on with my life, with or without my biological family. At least I know who really has my back. Thank you all for your support through this insanity. It's kept me sane. Final update, the truth came out. I wasn't going to update again, but what happened last week needs to be shared. It turns out this whole situation was even more calculated than I imagined. After 2 weeks of blessed silence, Cousin Michelle called with shocking news. She'd run into Tyler's ex-girlfriend, Jessica, who dated him for 3 years until last summer. What Jessica told her changed everything. Apparently, this isn't Tyler's first rodeo. 2 years ago, he convinced Jessica to let him move into her apartment temporarily while he launched his streaming career. She paid rent while he contributed exposure and networking. When she finally asked him to contribute financially, he accused her of not believing in his dreams and turned her friends against her. Sound familiar? But here's the kicker. Jessica said my parents were in on it. They'd coached Tyler on what to say, helped him guilt-trip her, and even called her parents to pressure them. When Jessica finally kicked him out, my parents told everyone she was a gold digger who abandoned Tyler when he needed support. Michelle immediately called me. James, there's more. Remember when Aunt Jennifer's son Brian offered Tyler a job at his company last year? I vaguely remembered. Tyler said it wasn't a good fit. No, Michelle corrected. Tyler accepted, worked for 3 days, then claimed he hurt his back and needed workers' comp. Brian had to involve lawyers to prove Tyler never actually injured himself. Your parents backed Tyler's story until security footage proved he lied. Everything clicked. This wasn't just about Tyler being enabled. This was a pattern. A con game my parents actively participated in. I called Uncle Robert. He confirmed Brian's story and added another. Your parents tried this with me 15 years ago. Wanted me to hire Tyler's older cousin Dennis with a guaranteed loan from my business. When I refused, they didn't speak to me for 2 years. Armed with this information, I did some digging. Found Tyler's old social media accounts, abandoned when he rebranded. Post after post about different ventures, always needing investors, always one step away from success. The comments were telling, former friends asking for their money back, ex-roommates warning others. Then Sarah found the smoking gun. On a local Facebook group, someone had posted a warning about Tyler from 6 months ago. Guy named Tyler claimed he needed a temporary place to crash while his media empire took off. Ate my food, ran up my electricity bill, refused to leave. Had to threaten legal action. Parents called non-stop guilt-tripping. Avoid. 37 comments followed. 37. All similar stories. Tyler and my parents had been running this scam for years. I compiled everything, screenshots, testimonies, dates, into a folder. Then I did something petty. I sent it all to the family group chat I'd left, with the message. Since everyone's so concerned about helping Tyler, here's some context you might find interesting. Seems I'm not the first selfish person to refuse to subsidize his lifestyle. The explosion was immediate. Aunt Jennifer, this can't be real. Cousin Anthony, holy shit, Tyler owes me $300 from 2019. Uncle David, Patricia, Michael, is this true? Cousin Lisa, OMG, he tried this with my roommate last year. My parents tried damage control. Mom, these are all misunderstandings. People are ganging up on Tyler because they're jealous of his potential. But the floodgates had opened. Story after story poured in. Tyler had borrowed money for equipment that never materialized. He'd crashed in spare rooms that he tried to claim as permanent residences. He'd convinced people to invest in businesses that existed only in his imagination. The family consensus shifted dramatically. Suddenly, I wasn't the selfish brother. I was the smart one who saw through the con. Tyler tried to defend himself in the chat. "You're all just mad because I don't follow the traditional path. This is tall poppy syndrome." Cousin Brian responded, "No, we're mad because you're a con artist and your parents are your accomplices." That's when Dad made a tactical error. He accidentally replied in the family chat instead of privately to Mom, "This is getting out of hand. We need to do damage control before they connect the Dennis situation to us." The Dennis situation. Their nephew who they tried to get Uncle Robert to hire. Turns out, Dennis is now in prison for fraud. The chat went nuclear. Family members started connecting dots going back decades. My parents had a pattern of backing deadbeat relatives, pressuring family to help, then cutting off anyone who refused. Uncle Robert dropped the final bomb. "Michael still owes me $5,000 from when he needed to invest in Tyler's future in 2018. Promised to pay it back when Tyler's first business took off. I'm still waiting." My phone rang. It was Mom, sobbing. But not apologetic sobbing, angry sobbing. "You've ruined everything," she screamed. "Tyler's reputation is destroyed. How could you do this to your own brother?" "I didn't do anything," I said calmly. "I just shared information. Tyler ruined his own reputation. Those people are lying. Tyler's just had bad luck. 37 different instances of bad luck." She hung up. Dad texted, "You've torn this family apart. Hope you're happy." I responded, "I didn't tear anything. I just pulled back the curtain." The aftermath has been intense but validating. Tyler's been uninvited from family Christmas. Several relatives have demanded repayment for old loans. My parents are reportedly not speaking to most of the family. Aunt Jennifer apologized for calling me selfish. Uncle Robert started a group chat for survivors of Patricia and Michael's schemes. The best part? Tyler tried one more manipulation. He texted yesterday, "Bro, despite everything, I forgive you. Family is family. If you want to make this right, I could really use a loan to get back on my feet after this character assassination." I didn't respond, but I did laugh. The audacity remains undefeated. Sarah and I are planning that vacation now. We're thinking somewhere tropical, where the only family drama involves which restaurant to try for dinner. To everyone who's dealt with similar situations, document everything. Talk to other family members. You might discover you're not the first victim of the family con artist. And to Tyler, if you're reading this after stalking my Reddit, get a job. Thanks for following this wild ride. I'm officially closing this chapter and looking forward to a drama-free 2025. Spoiler alert, I doubt it'll be drama-free, but at least I know now that the problem was never me.